All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about the absolute ground floor of programming. We're going to break down the core building blocks that every single piece of software, from a tiny app on your phone to a huge blockbuster game, is made of. And to get started, let's think about something you've definitely experienced. Seriously, have you ever stopped to think about that? You play a game, you get that new high score, you turn the whole thing off. And when you come back tomorrow, it's still there. How does it remember? It's not magic, I promise you. It's actually the very first and maybe most important concept in all of coding. And the answer to that question is something called a variable. This is, without a doubt, the first tool you need to get comfortable with as a programmer. The best way to think of it? It's literally the program's memory. It's the place it tucks away all the important information it needs to keep track of. So what is it really? Well, in simple terms, a variable is just a named container that holds a piece of information. But here's the crucial part. The value inside that container can change. Think about it. Your score goes up, your health points drop, your character's name gets updated. All of that is handled by variables. And this right here is the perfect way to picture it. Seriously, just imagine a simple storage box. You take a marker and write a label on it, like high score. Then you put a piece of paper inside with the number 5,000 on it. That whole thing, the box, the label, the paper, is your variable. Now, if you beat your high score, what do? You just open the box, take out the old paper, and put in a new one that says 6,000. The box is the same, the label is the same, but the value inside has changed. That's a variable. Okay, so that's the next big question, right? We've got these boxes, but can we only put numbers in them? Or can they hold other kinds of information too? And the answer is a big yes, they absolutely can. You see, you've got different types of boxes for different types of stuff. You have numeric variables, which, you guessed it, hold numbers. Could be whole numbers, could be decimals. Then you have character variables, which hold just one single letter or symbol. And maybe the most common one you'll see is a string, which is just a fancy word for any piece of text, like a username or a welcome message. Now, just like in real life, a good label is everything. You wouldn't just write stuff on all your boxes in the garage, would you? You'd have a mess. It's the same in programming. You need clear, descriptive names for your variables. But there are a few rules you have to follow. This table breaks it down perfectly. Take a look at the valid column. You can use letters, you can use underscores, you can even put numbers in there as long as it's not at the very beginning. But then look at the invalid side. That's where you see the common mistakes. You can't start a name with a number, you can't use special symbols like a percent sign, and you can't use hyphens. Getting these simple rules down is going to save you a lot of headaches later. Okay, so variables are for information that changes. But what about the stuff that should never change? The things that need to be set in stone, like the rules of the game? Well, for that, we have another special tool in our kit. And that tool is the constant. You can think of it as a variable's very, very strict sibling. It's also a named container, but here's the deal. Once you put a value inside, it is locked. It cannot be changed, ever. Think about something like the value of pi. It's always 3.14, and so on. Or the maximum number of players allowed in a game. You don't want those values accidentally changing, so you make them constants. This is the absolute best way to remember the difference. A variable is that storage box you can open and close all day long. A constant, it's like a jar that you put something in and then you seal it shut. You can look at what's inside, you can use what's inside, but you are never, ever changing it. So let's put them head to head just to make it crystal clear. Variables, their value can change. Constants? Nope, their value is totally fixed. A variable is like your open storage box, perfect for things like scores or names. A constant is your sealed jar, perfect for things like game rules or fixed numbers. Knowing when to use which one is a huge part of writing smart code. Okay, so we've got our containers, our boxes and our jars, but how do we actually do stuff with them? How do we put a value into a variable in the first place or do some math? Well, that's where operators come in. And at the same time, we'll look at how programmers leave little notes for themselves right inside the code. Now, this might be the single most important operator to learn first, the single equal sign. In your math class, this means is equal to. In programming, you gotta forget that. Here, it's called the assignment operator. It means gets the value of. It's the verb. It's the action of putting something into our storage box. So when you see a line of code like this, I want you to read it from right to left. It's saying, take the number 100 and assign it to, or put it inside, the variable named score. We are literally putting the value 100 into our score box. That's all it's doing. And then, of course, we have the operators that probably look a lot more familiar, the ones for doing basic math. You've got your plus for addition, minus for subtraction, the little asterisk for multiplication, and a forward slash for division. These work exactly the way you'd expect them to. And this is where it all comes together. Look at this line of code. This is the magic. The computer always looks at the right side of the equal sign first. It takes the value inside the price variable, adds it to the value inside the tax variable, and gets a brand new number. Then it uses that assignment operator, the equal sign, to store that new result in the variable called total. That is programming in a nutshell. All right, one last thing. It's a tool that the computer doesn't even see, but it is incredibly important for us humans. They're called comments. They're basically just notes that you can write in your code. When the program runs, the computer skips right over them. They're just for people to read. And I absolutely love this analogy. Let's say you write a really tricky bit of code. You can leave a comment, a little sticky note, right there explaining why you did it that way. 6 months from now, when you come back and have no idea what you were thinking, that little note is going to be an absolute lifesaver. And that's it. Those are the absolute core building blocks. You've now seen the essential tools that make every program work. So let's just do a super fast recap of everything in your new programming toolkit. So let's lock this in using our analogies. A variable is your changeable storage box. A constant is your sealed jar for a value that's fixed. Operators are the action symbols, like equals and plus, that make things happen. And comments are those super helpful sticky notes that you leave for yourself and for other programmers. And honestly, with just those 4 concepts, you now have the fundamental knowledge to start building some amazing things. You understand how a program can remember, how it can calculate, and how it's organized. The only real question left is, what are you going to build with them?